Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video and welcome to episode 282, I think, of your favourite Formula 1 show. Yes, it's been so long since the last episode in this series, I forgot where we are, who we are, what is going on. Of course, as always, I'm joined by Jamie183, but I nearly had to say not always joined by Jamie183. Because I was planning on doing a special episode with Last 212 last week, and then she unfortunately became slightly ill, so we never got round to it, which admittedly even you were slightly gutted with, Jamie.
Yeah, I was really looking forward to hearing just you and Leah just bickering for about an hour. I'd imagine that's exactly how it would have gone.
Probably.
But sadly not. Well, next time I'm away for a considerable period of time, which probably won't be that far away.
I was saying, give it about 2 weeks, yeah.
Then we'll have to get the podcast with Last 212 going.
We will
obviously
definitely.
When Matt's away, that won't happen because it's not possible.
Oh no, hang on a minute. When I go away, we'll just get you and Last 212 to do an episode together.
That'd be quite funny, actually.
That would be incredible, to be fair. But yeah, I mean, obviously, Jamie, picks his timing very well. You can tell he's dedicated to the cause because he liked to go away right splat bang in the middle of probably the biggest moment so far. Of the 2026 season. Of course, it was pre-preseason testing. Yeah,
it's the biggest moment so far in all of 4 weeks of 2026. Wow.
Exactly. To be fair, it made me chuckle. I got asked by someone, I go play five-a-side football on a Friday afternoon. And most of them are quite a lot older. And obviously they don't really understand what I do for a job or anything like that. Mm-hmm. But one of them was like, you must be really bored this time of the year. There must be nothing to do. And I was like, well, Formula 1, literally the season finished early December, and already by early January there's like loads of stuff coming back anyway. It never stops anymore, does it? It is a bit weird.
Yeah, the only time it stops is when they put a random 3-week break in the calendar in October for some reason. So exactly. We're straight back into it, and testing is well underway. And we've had a week, and we've got another week in mid-Feb, something like that.
Yes, yeah, or for some teams though, they didn't get a week, because obviously one of the biggest storylines over the course of last week wasn't, in fact, obviously cars on track. It was the fact that Williams never made it. Now, it's never been fully confirmed, has it? But kind of the rumblings that... What's the old saying about how there's, no...
Smoke
kind
without
of sound
fire?
Without a rumour or something? Yeah, smoke without fire, that's what I was thinking of.
Sound without a rumour?
I don't know.
I've never heard that before.
I just made it up as I went along. Apparently it was the fact that Williams failed the crash test 3 times and are apparently 30 kilos overweight, which is massive.
That's so much. It's like, is it half a tenth per kilogram? I remember that from when Nico Rosberg used to stop cycling.
When he used to shave his eyebrows.
Shave his eyebrows off, yeah. But so what? Half a tenth per kilo. You're talking. That's a second a lap.
Exactly,
over, isn't it?
Yeah.
For 30 kilo, more than that, maybe. Yeah,
a second and a half.
Crazy. But yeah, I mean, they'll likely get the weight down by Melbourne. No, which is the first race? Bahrain?
Melbourne.
Is it
Melbourne?
Melbourne.
Yeah,
It is Melbourne. Okay, good. And obviously, if they can't get the weight down, they'll just take all the paint off it, like they did in 2022.
But you can't do that anymore.
Oh no,
you have
can't.
to have 50%. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well,
this
they'll
is why
take
you're
50%.
not team principal of Williams.
They'll take 50% of the paint off it, then, won't they?
Yeah.
But yeah, we shall see. I mean, it's never a good thing to miss testing because you're not ready. But equally, if the car's good, like, it's not like a 2019 situation where they missed testing because the car wasn't ready. I feel like the car probably has been made, it has been put together, it just keeps failing this stupid crash test, which isn't stupid.
Stupid crash test.
What about if they just don't crash? Then it's fine.
Yeah, if Sainz and Albon really pinky swear they're not going to crash this year, is it allowed still to race?
Can the FIA let them on?
Yeah, go on. I mean, that would be the same. We promise we won't crash. And it just cuts to, was it Barrichello or Ralf Schumacher turn 1 at Australia?
Yeah.
Just instantly.
Flying in the air. Yeah, I mean, speaking of Rubens Barrichello, the Broughton famously missed the first week of testing back in 2009.
It did, didn't it? Yeah.
Turned up to the second week, and they were 4/10 quicker than everyone else. And then they put loads of fuel in because they were like, oof, we shouldn't be that quick.
Exactly. Yeah, we can't kind of reveal all our tricks too early. I mean, it is a bit of a shame for Williams, isn't it, though? Because it kind of felt like, obviously, it's been a really, really weird cycle. Because obviously they hit rock bottom in, like, 2019. started to rebound a little bit in 2020, then saw a really good kind of bounce back in 2021. I think a lot of people forgot they then finished last in 2022 again, didn't they?
Yeah, they were pretty hopeless
and then
again.
Basically have rebounded ever since then to, what was best of the rest last year. So it would be a shame if they then kind of slip back down the order once again. Because, I mean, sensibly this year, first and foremost, for them, I would assume their goal is to beat Alpine. Prove that they can build a better car than Alpine straight off the bat. Because obviously they're going to have equal engines.
Equal engines. I think their aim would realistically be if they can maintain fifth, I think they'd be quite happy with that.
Beat a works team.
Yeah, exactly. And I do trust James Vowles. I've said this on the podcast before. I think he's a brilliant team principal. He's a great communicator. So I like to think they know what they're doing. But it's a shame for them to miss the first week of testing, because that's obviously tons of mileage on the new reg cycle that everyone else has now got, or pretty much everyone else has now got over them.
Yeah, no, exactly. So it is a bit of a shame for Williams, isn't it? Not the ideal way to start the season. It is one of those things where, like you said, it could either end up a bit like a Brawn, where you very quickly forget about it if the car's quite good, or we look back at the end of the season and go, that, say, 1,000 kilometres of testing, was worth a couple of Grand Prix. Say, for example, they rock up to Australia and they got a few issues with the car. Could that have been issues that, had you been able to run testing and not obviously found out earlier, that maybe, could be the difference come the end of a season as well, isn't it?
Yeah, those handful of points, maybe 10 points or so that you miss out in Australia.
Australia could be a real race of attrition for all we know.
Well, Albon finished 5th there last year, 4th. Was he ahead of Antonelli in the end? I don't remember. I think he was 5th.
I think Antonelli got the move on him late on, didn't he? Because Antonelli made a real charge right at the end from last year.
Yeah. But good news for Williams is the Mercedes engine does look incredibly good. And I think all the Mercedes-powered teams, therefore, will do quite well from having a new engine regs, obviously, this year. So even if the car's terrible, they should still be a step away from last place, I'd imagine.
It feels like, we're almost going back towards kind of a 2014 through 16, aren't we, where the engine matters more again than the aero, necessarily. And again, especially obviously with the efficiency of the engine and the recharge and everything like that, engine performance this year could be huge. Which is, like I said, for those teams, could be a huge, huge boost. A bit like Williams back in 2014, or 2014, 2015, where they were, close rivals with Red Bull, which seems mad to say now in the last few years, but they were basically just carried along by a really, really good engine. But to their credit, obviously must have built a better car than Force India.
Yeah, but Force India were a tiny little team back then, weren't they? Before the investment.
Were pretty small. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, they beat Red Bull in 2015. They almost beat Ferrari.
They should have beat Ferrari. They were on 2014 on average. Williams did have the second fastest car.
Yeah, and they came
just
third
lost out to Red Bull
in the championship, and then 2015 they came third again behind Ferrari and Mercedes. So, and they should have definitely won a race or two in that period as well. But
definitely could have.
Yeah, Silverstone 2015 springs to mind when they should have just let Bottas go, but they were too kind to Massa.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, to be fair, it would have been nice to see Massa get one more win, but I think Mercedes was still going to overpower him that day, wasn't it? But
probably
it could have been a lot more of a fight than it ever ended up being, which is always a bit of a shame. Let's talk about a team then, Jamie, that hasn't obviously got Mercedes engines anymore. Of course, Aston Martin created a lot of waves out in testing. Some for all the right reasons, others for all the wrong reasons in the end, in what ended up being a test of about 3 laps, if I remember correctly.
Yes, the Aston Martin came out the pits to an array of photographers who were obviously very keen to get snaps of Adrian Newey's first piece of work in a couple of years on the F1 car, and the first piece of work ever on Aston Martin F1 car. And it looks great. I mean, the back of that car looks so tight and compact that I think everyone was a bit like, how on earth does he manage that? Saying that, the 2015 McLaren with a Honda engine in the back was similarly tight and compact, and all that did was compress the engine too much, and it broke down constantly. That said, the Aston Martin, within 3 or 4 laps of Lance Stroll, broke down, which was not a great start. Because I don't think it was engine related, to be fair to Honda. But yeah, it sadly hasn't got much mileage. The Honda engine is easily the lowest mileage of any of the engines in testing so far. So that's not a great start for... Obviously, Honda haven't made an engine since 21, and then it's been... or 2020, and it's been frozen since then. So...
Yeah, arguably, I guess nobody really has.
I guess that's the same for everyone, but Honda basically pulled out, and then Red Bull have been managing the current engine flock since then, haven't they?
Yeah.
So they've not really been in the sport since then as such, although that said, arguably no engine suppliers have been because it's been an engine freeze. But yeah,
well, the bizarre thing was with Honda is they kind of stepped away and then almost half stepped back with Red Bull once they knew they were coming back with Aston Martin.
Yeah.
They kind of tried to throw a few personnel back at Red Bull just to kind of make sure things were working as they should be. It's just, it's so bizarre, isn't it? Again?
I feel like Honda as an engine supplier are like Renault as a team, where they're constantly just pulling out and then coming back in.
Exactly.
And every 10 years, you just go through the Renault and the Honda cycle.
Exactly, yeah. They normally try and line it up somehow.
Yeah.
Just kind of who's on the way in, who's back on the way out, and everything like that. I mean, Aston Martin even weren't the only team with issues, though, were they? Because Isaac Hadjar also, unfortunately, ruined quite a lot of Red Bull's testing as well, which obviously, completely new engine supplier in the sport. They obviously wanted to try and make sure that they had a pretty smooth test underneath them. Now, obviously, we've got no footage of this, so we can't really tell for sure, but kind of from people that were apparently kind of, I wouldn't say track side, but I'm going to say track near is the best way to describe it. It didn't look like it was Hadjar's fault. It looked like it might have been a failure on the car, but obviously they didn't have enough spares.
I've read it was Hadjar's fault.
Fair enough. You might, again, it's all...
But again, it's all behind closed doors, technically, so no one's meant to know.
Yeah, we're not even meant to know this happened.
I heard that it was a wet day at Barcelona's testing circuit, so not many teams even bothered going out at all because of this risk of you might crash and therefore you're going to lose a day or two of testing. I believe it was Red Bull and one other team. I think someone else had a spin, but I don't remember which team that was. And Hadjar crashed on the exit of going up to turn 9 at Spain, the fast right-hander, on the exit of 7 and 8, and just lost it on a bit of water, hit the wall on the left, and basically that took away that whole day and the day after. I think it was the Wednesday and the Thursday, because the new parts had to be shipped, obviously, from Milton Keynes or from wherever they came from.
Well, they just didn't have them. They knew they wouldn't get them manufactured in time.
Yeah, so that was a shame. It rings a bit of Pierre Gasly back in 19, where he crashed and Helmut Marko never really forgave him. Obviously, Marko's now gone, so hopefully that won't be such an issue for Isaac Hadjar, but it can't be
even if Helmut Marko doesn't forgive him, it shouldn't matter too much.
True. But yeah, it's not the best start. Although, to be fair, Red Bull powertrains were surprisingly good. I think
this is what I was going to say. Yeah, they were. It was one of those bizarre things, isn't it, where there wasn't... It felt like Red Bull, Audi, and Cadillac there wasn't much conversation about, which ultimately actually proved to potentially be quite a good thing, isn't it? It's kind of, you almost don't want sometimes to go against a certain American politician. Sometimes no news is good news.
Yes, and to be fair, I mean, after a couple of days, the Red Bulls, so obviously the V-Carb with the Red Bull powertrain in the back and the Red Bull with the Red Bull powertrain in the back, they were both running flawlessly for the first couple of days. And I think everyone was very surprised because your first attempt at building a Formula 1 engine when you're a drinks company is quite impressive to seemingly have got it pretty well done on the first go. And obviously you only had a couple of days, so it's not like you've done a season of racing yet. But there
couple
were
of days of testing, not building the engine, just for those confused. They literally weren't given the assignment at the end of Jan.
No,
can you guys just lob us together a Formula 1 spec engine?
Yeah, to be fair, it's simpler now the MGU-H has gone, so maybe they could have managed it. But yeah, I think everyone, I'm sure Max Verstappen was pleasantly surprised because I think he was probably going into this year not expecting to have the fastest car. And I don't think that he do have the fastest car, but the fact it seems to be there or thereabouts without massive reliability issues at the moment is quite a good thing.
Well, that is the big thing, isn't it? You have to chase that reliability first rather than raw performance.
Especially when you're
raw
brand new.
Performance is pointless if you can't get to the end of a Grand Prix.
Yeah, McLaren went 3 years saying they had the best chassis on the grid, in 2014 to 16, and then when they
And
got a
then
Renault engine, they were still terrible.
Worse than Renault.
Yeah.
This was obviously during a cycle when Renault were looking to leave the sport. Just for those, they're either on the way out or on the way in. So I believe this is I think still the first of the 100 race plans, wasn't it?
I haven't heard about 300
as a Hulkenberg fan.
Oh, those times were not good. I was so sad when he dropped out of the sport, but looking back, it was for the best.
Yes, yeah, it is kind of mad, isn't it? I don't think any of us would have predicted Hulkenberg A would have come back, B actually been the first ever driver and still the only driver to this day that has survived a Haston and maintained a Formula 1 seat.
Yeah.
And C, got a podium in a Sauber.
I know.
Incredible.
Unbelievable. I mean,
Absolutely
the Hulkenberg
incredible.
Renaissance arc has been one of my favourite things about the 2020s in Formula 1 so far.
It has been mad, hasn't it? It's underrated and needs to be talked about. Even as someone that wasn't a Hulkenberg fan, who now I'm a little bit kind of liking him a bit more.
Yes, there we go. I remember when we used to argue about who was better, Perez or Hulkenberg.
Perez still has higher highs. I'm
Those
not
were the
going
days.
Yeah, Perez, I still think on his day is the better driver.
His day has been long ago now, Sergio Perez.
Well, you never know. He might have a renaissance at Cadillac as well. You just don't know yet, do you,
He's gonna
Jamie?
get beaten by Valtteri Bottas, I'm afraid.
Yeah,
but
Bottas
yeah.
is different gravy. We love
Yeah,
Valtteri Bottas.
but the Audi, which is a nice segue, so thank you for that,
Yep.
doesn't look fantastic so far, which is a bit
Well,
of a shame.
apparently, yeah, they kind of came in with a little bit of hype, didn't they? Because obviously they did some extra testing at Spain earlier on. They did their media day there. Apparently they got the car down to the weight requirement, which of course for Sauber back in 2022 was huge.
Yeah.
That obviously gave them a huge boost at the start of the regs, wasn't it? Because they were the only team down to the minimum weight as far as we were aware.
Yeah, they were, yeah.
So there was kind of a bit of confidence about Audi, and then kind of as soon as actual kind of pre-preseason testing began, again, kind of not much news at all.
Yeah, and they have had a few reliability issues. I think their engine has the second least running ahead of the Honda, but behind everything else. To be fair, that's always going to be the case when you've only got one team.
One team, yeah, exactly.
But they had some, I think it was hydraulic issues and transmission issues for Bortoleto and Valkenberg on the first couple of days. So, again, just kind of small, niggly little
Teething
issues.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're not the best for Audi, but I think they're not expecting to, go and win the first race of the season. But they may be slightly behind the curve compared to where they thought. Well, that said, I think they'll still be in the kind of 7th, 8th, 9th area of the grid, probably.
Do you mean teams or drivers? Sorry.
Teams, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. In my head, I think Cadillac are last.
Okay.
I think you probably got V-Carb down there, and then you got like the likes of Haas, Audi. What else is there? Like
Aston
Williams,
Martin,
probably.
Alpine,
Aston Martin,
I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all of them basically. I think the top 4 is fairly set in my head. Between you've got Mercedes will be first in my opinion.
He's already getting all these out very early, chap.
I am. This is just a ballpark. We can't read into testing too much.
Yeah, we're not gonna do a proper predictions until after.
But I haven't
testing,
seen.
I assume.
I haven't seen George Russell this confident in quite a long time. Or the last time was when they turned up with 0 side pods.
Yeah.
But George Russell is very excited to get racing, which I think says it all.
Yeah,
So.
I think for George Russell as well, of course, the fact that you went to Mercedes just after they ended being dominant, you've got to think, surely this is my chance now.
And he's had to wait 4 years, yeah.
Yeah, another team though, Jamie. I'm wearing my Ferrari hat. I
no.
don't want to get too optimistic, but although timing wasn't officially recorded, it was unofficially recorded, and it's been talked about. Hamilton was fastest overall by the end of the test. We don't know about fuel, we don't know about engine modes, we don't know anything else, but he was quickest.
It's true.
I
he was.
hate the fact I want to believe.
I'm
I'm now a full Ferrari fan.
Testing. I don't think Ferrari have resorted to like the 90s backmarker, go for a glory run to get some sponsors in.
I hope not. If Ferrari are in that much trouble.
Yeah, but a 1:16.3 apparently, according to Sky Sports, was the fastest time of testing. I do want to check what was the pole time.
It was a 15,
2025.
I believe, last year.
That's actually not that bad.
No, there's no point.
It wasn't. It was a 1:11.5.
Oh, wait, no, that
So-
might have been testing. Sorry, last year it was a 1:15.
Probably, but yeah. So he's 5 seconds off the pole time. I don't think we're reading into that.
Yeah, it's completely different regs, though, isn't it?
It is, but it's not 5 seconds slower, is it?
These cars are meant to be 3 or 4 seconds slower, and obviously
Really?
it's a much colder track.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jamie, let me believe just for a couple of. I mean, let's be fair. It doesn't matter what anybody did last year. It's only about what happened now.
True. But the fact that they're a lot, like, they would have been pushing not much at all, I don't think.
Yeah.
Like, the engine would have been turned down. The tyres, obviously, are they actual tyres? I think they're C2s, aren't they?
Yeah.
But yes, I don't think, even when we get to the real test, because this is basically a kind of pre-test because it's new engine regs, even when we get to the real test, we can't read into the times. So yeah,
Not fully, no.
I'm ignoring the time of Lewis Hamilton, and I'm
You're
going
ignoring my
off
hope.
general vibe and team confidence, which is
But
why I
Lewis
have
in the
Mercedes
interviews
top.
looked happy. He was saying
Yeah.
the car's fun to drive. Come on,
Everyone's
I want
saying
to
that.
believe.
It can be fun, but it can be slow.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter when it's fun. It won't be fun if it doesn't feel quick.
I guess. I do think Ferrari will. The whispers are people saying they could be second fastest
Yeah.
behind Mercedes and
Yeah.
ahead of the likes of Red Bull and McLaren. McLaren also missed the first day of testing because they were ensuring the aerodynamic efficiency was dialed in,
Well,
which
they
basically
also
means
didn't need
it
to
wasn't
do the
ready.
First day. Yeah. Because you
They
were only
didn't
allowed to do
yeah.
3 of the 4, 3 of the 5 even.
I guess so. Yeah. But yeah, McLaren and Red Bull could be chasing behind Ferrari.
I would love
So
that.
could we
I
see
would
a George Russell Lewis Hamilton championship fight?
Oh, that would be incredible.
I don't think it'll happen.
Battle of the Brits.
I think it's more likely to be George Russell Kimi Antonelli fight. I'm honest.
Or George Russell, Charles Leclerc.
Well,
Now,
yeah,
because
that's-
I want to still believe this year, like I've said before, is make or break for Lewis. But I'm hoping with cars that suit his driving style a bit more, which even he said, in theory, these should a bit more again. Because obviously the problem with the ground effect cars is they didn't like to be... Obviously Lewis's greatest strength is braking insanely late into corners and then trying to carry speed in.
catapult out of it. Yeah.
Exactly. And obviously these ground effect cars didn't like that, particularly it wasn't the way to drive them. So I'm kind of hoping, obviously, with the new regs, obviously with the normal floors again and everything like that, hopefully. Like I said, even if he's honestly in his 40s, even if he's... I mean, he wasn't that far away from Leclerc anyway last year. In the grand scheme of things, he wasn't as close as Lewis Hamilton should be. But it wasn't like he was 3/4 of a second off his pace all the time or anything like
True.
that. It was normally a couple of tenths.
Yeah,
but
and
if he
occasionally
can,
was ahead.
he was, yeah. He went through a little patch kind of in this third quarter of the year where he did qualify Leclerc like 3 times in a row, didn't he? And then decided he was just never going to make Q2 again. That was a bit annoying.
Yeah.
But the fact that he seemed happy gave me a little bit of hope. Even if he's just happier this year, like, just, you don't want to make light of it, of course, but the fact he basically came across like he was on suicide watch for like half of last season was, as a fan of his of almost 20 years now, rather depressing.
Yeah, not the best. But everyone seems quite happy about the new cast, to be honest, and I think that's really good. So
yeah, bit lighter.
we'll see
Steadily
if
going
they
in the
can
right
actually.
direction.
We can see if they can race.
Yeah, that's the big one.
But yeah, we won't find that out until March, will we? Really?
No. Which is only just over a month away now. 6 weeks, isn't it? I believe Australia.
True.
So we are getting there. Would you like your quiz, Jamie?
Go on then.
So, your quiz today, sir. Of course, obviously, Formula One is back in Barcelona, Catalonia, this weekend. Or was last week, even, I should say. Obviously, as you know, as I know, as everybody else knows, we hate the old version of Catalonia with the chicane.
Okay.
So you have got to name me, in reverse order, winners of the Spanish Grand Prix at Barcelona without that final chicane.
Oh gosh. Okay. Last year, 2025 was.
Obviously, if you get one wrong, it's over.
Yes. Last year was Piastri.
Correct?
2024. Am I being stupid? I think it was Max in 24.
Correct?
It would have been Max in 23.
Correct?
Now, when did they bring the chicane? Or when did they get rid of the chicane? I'm trying to think. I don't remember anything about the 2022 race, unless that's one where Verstappen spun out and still won. But what I've got to try and work out is if that chicane was there. I believe the chicane was there on 2020 because I raced that in co-op against you, and I remember you obliterating that chicane on the quali lap.
Probably.
So was the chicane there in 21? I'm going to say I think it was in 21, but 2022 it wasn't. So I'm going to say Max Verstappen.
Incorrect.
Oh.
You got 3.
Great. I mean, before that, I would have said Fernando Alonso next.
Yeah, that would have been correct.
Yeah.
That would have been correct. No,
And then-
unfortunately, the chicane was still in for 2022. I think the only thing anybody can remember about that Grand Prix was I believe Russell put up a good fight against Max, if I remember correctly.
Wasn't that? I swear Max went into the gravel and still won the race. Was that year, or was that 23?
That might have been 23. And obviously Bottas in 2022 as well got Sauber. Obviously until Hulkenberg, I would assume Sauber's best result of the ground effect era.
P5.
If I remember correctly as well. Yeah, P5.
Yeah, that would have been.
So.
No, Giovinazzi. Oh no, that was 21.
I was going to say, yeah. 2022, though, unfortunately, yeah, the chicane was still in, I'm afraid. It was the only year of the ground effect cars with the chicane in.
Wow. Wow.
So only 3 points scored there, Jamie.
Three points. I'd have gone Alonso, and then 05 I would have gone Raikkonen.
Yeah.
Then I would have gone Schumacher.
Yeah.
Schumacher.
Yeah. We're just doing this now, apparently. Yeah.
Schumacher.
Yeah.
Schumacher?
Incorrect.
Oh.
2000, if I remember correctly, was the year that Schumacher broke down with like 2 laps to go, so Mika got the win.
Hakkinen. That was one of his last wins, wasn't it, Hakkinen?
Yeah, well, definitely towards the end of his, obviously, yeah. I mean, it was bizarre. If you look back, Mika won it between 1995 and 2004. Schumacher won it 6 times, Hakkinen won it 3.
Wow.
It was just those two absolutely dominating, and then Jacques Villeneuve got 1 win in there.
Yeah, fair play.
One cheesy little win.
Just like his championship, really.
Exactly. It's always mad to think that Jacques Villeneuve won his last ever Formula 1 race before he won his World Championship.
Yeah, that is crazy.
Although, I don't know if you've seen it, but shout-outs, he's a great guy. The Mobile Chicane did a video on Jacques Villeneuve's very short stint at Renault back at the end of 2004.
Oh, yeah.
And it obviously kind of talked about his career kind of after his World Championship as well. Really, really worth a watch.
He was dreadful after he... I mean, he was a bit of a flash-in-the-pan rookie, wasn't he, that won a championship and then dipped.
Yeah. Well, but the bizarre thing as well, though, and of course, it's only been reported on more recently. Obviously, where he came from IndyCar, of course, obviously, he was one of the drivers that got completely screwed over by ABS and traction control coming in. He likes to run really absurd setups, and it was kind of why, because I don't know if you remember as well, there was a rumour that he could have come back in 2010 with Stefan GP. And they were like, to be fair, these regs would actually probably suit him a lot more than anything he was actually racing in. Because obviously
How old was he in 2010?
I think late 30s, might have been 40.
He was born in 1971, so he'd have been 39, yeah.
Yeah, there you go. So
Crazy.
Would have been
Stefan GP. That era of F1 was absolutely crazy.
Was nuts, wasn't it? Financial crash. I mean, could we be on for another financial crash quite soon? We're gonna start knowing economics now.
I do hope not.
But we could see some absolutely bizarre Formula 1 teams coming back. Audi will give up, Cadillac will go. It'll be carnage.
It'll be Sauber back for the 15th time.
Exactly. Yeah,
The
Sauber
C35.
Yeah, they're gonna have to be Sauber Audi for the year because they can't buy the license off BMW. BMW will have free advertising.
Yeah, we will see.
Have we got anything else to add, Jamie? We've kind of smashed through everything.
Anything else to add? Who early shout? Who's going to be world champion?
I still think it's gonna be George, isn't it?
I will say George Russell.
I think it's likely we're gonna both predict George Russell. Like we said, we will do a proper big predictions video at some point closer.
Do you think Max Verstappen will be driving the Red Bull in 2027?
Yes.
I would say no.
Okay, you think he's off to Merck, do you?
I don't know where he's going, but his release clause this year is, every it kind of changes between being P3 and P2 by
it's
summer
P2
break.
this year, isn't
It's
it?
P2 this year. So I think he might be off if it's going to be Antonelli and Russell P1 and 2 in the championship by then. And then it would just go to either Mercedes or whoever's third fastest. Aston Martin, possibly.
Well, yeah, it could still. That'll definitely be topics as obviously we make our way through the season.
Christian Horner might buy Renault, might buy Alpine, sorry, or
that'll be a great way for their 100 race plan, won't it?
Yeah, and Flavio Briatore's in the Epstein files, so
but we've known that for literal years now, haven't we?
True. So it's never a dull
day. So is Lance
day.
Stroll's mum.
Yeah, that was odd. But there you go.
I was maybe calling it the weirdest thing about Epstein.
Definitely not the weirdest thing about those files.
But what I was actually going to say, one of the most bizarre things, I mean, this is such a bizarre pipeline we're going down now, is no one's really sure how he got as rich as he did. Because he wasn't that great in finance, famously. So no one really knows. Well, I think we all kind of know how he got so rich, was selling kids to fiddlers, but that's very, very...
We should probably end the podcast there.
Let's end the show there. We're going down a very odd timeline.
Yeah, but Christian Horner could be back managing Renault or Alpine or whatever they're called this year.
Whatever they'll be next week,
Yeah.
Wonderful. Actually, no, talking about Christian Horner, Jamie, someone I know was looking at buying tickets to go to one of his talks recently as a bit of a joke. About his life, about his career in Formula One.
Right.
So he was... I can't remember exactly. I think it was in London. So you could buy tickets to like a theatre to go see him talk. Do you know how much those tickets were? How much would you be willing to pay to go for like a 3-hour talk with Christian Horner?
Me personally, I wouldn't really want to pay anything. But if I was a fan of Christian Horner, I would maybe pay 30 quid.
It was more than that.
Yeah. How much are we saying?
£400.
What?
I wish I was making this up. £400 to go listen to Christian Horner talk about himself for an evening. I'd rather pay him 400 quid to watch him shut up.
I'd pay 400 quid to not go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, that is
absolutely insane.
Mad. When are we going to start charging 400 quid for this podcast?
Never.
Yeah, good shout.
I hope.
One day we'll be on a stage and charging money for people. No, I don't think we should ever charge money. We're never behind a paywall.
No, I am one of those people that is avidly against paying for content kind of in this space. I've got channel membership on the main channel, but it gives you early access to content.
Yeah.
Rather than exclusivity. But Knowing Wheel is for the people. We do a service to Formula One fans. Exactly. We do a service for you all. Maybe a lot of you don't view it that way, but still. I mean, we've rambled on a lot. We're up to our 33-minute runtime, which I have a look back through. The last 3 podcasts have all ended at 33 minutes, Jamie.
Wow, Max Verstappen's going to win the World Championship.
Well, he's number 3 now, so that's irrelevant.
He's going to win it twice.
He's going to win it 11 times.
Yes.
Oh, man. Thank you, though, all. So much for watching, as always. Apologies for some of the random rambles throughout this week's show. Jamie, though, it's been a pleasure, as always. To be reunited with your sweet, sultry tones. And we will return, then, next week. I guess there might be some livery reveals by then, but I'm sure we're just kind of generally talking about F1 now. Exactly.